Prime Minister's announced new changes to immigration rules to encourage migrants to settle in the regions. John Key revealed the changes at the National Party's conference in Auckland over the weekend, which was largely dominated by the circus around Serco, the company contracted to run Mount Eden Prison. John Key joins me now. Good morning to you, John.
Morning, Paul.
We'll talk about the conference in a moment. Let's talk about Serco. So essentially the government corrections have stepped in to take over from Serco at Mount Eden. We all know what led to this. Will you cancel Serco's contract if it turns out that many of these allegations that have been made recently turn out to be true?
Well, that's potentially an option, but to step through it, what actually happens is there's a range of options. Number one is financial penalties. Number two is we're putting in a sort of a crack team to look at it. That's the step-in group. Yeah. They come today, 15 to 20 people.
So obviously you have to go through the process
to be cancelled.
Contractually, you have to go through this process. So I understand that. But can you ever imagine your wildest dreams actually sitting Serco down and saying, on your bike? Because many governments have tried to do that in the past, and it would appear that Serco are enormously powerful.
I don't think they're enormously powerful. You've got to honour the contract, and things are always relative. So the first thing is the information correct? That's part of what obviously the inquiry is all about. So, for instance, Nick Evans, the young guy that's been at the centre of that has died. Okay, so
we know more now than we did then.
We do, but on the other hand, we also had Kelvin Davis, and I remember you interviewing him, making these allegations he was thrown off a balcony. Now, he may have been, but for instance, I saw some reporting of the medical assessments that he had, and the medical assessments didn't support the view that he had any broken limbs from a fall or injuries consistent with the fall. That doesn't mean he doesn't. The coronial inquiry will look at that. On Saturday in the Herald, there was reports of inmates who said he wasn't thrown over a balcony. Yeah. Now, it doesn't mean he wasn't beaten up, and it doesn't mean that there aren't serious issues. I'm just simply saying that there's often misinformation.
Understood, and that's what you expect to get from the Labour Party anyway, because they're the opposition, and it's their job to oppose and bring things like this up. Fight clubs are different. We have fundamental, absolute proof of fight clubs because we can see the evidence. What we know is things are pretty bloomin' loose at Mount Eden Prison, thanks to Serco. The question I'm asking you is, do you have the ability to ditch them if it turns out in the public arena that we can no longer have confidence in them because they can't be trusted to run a prison?
Well, the broad legal advice I have, without delving too much into it, is yes, you can cancel the contract. So yes, you can do that. There's a range of options available to you.
And you would consider doing that?
Yeah, absolutely.
If it was necessary, you would do it?
If they can't do their job. I mean, the one thing I'll say about Serco, their real expertise is fundamentally in rehabilitation. That's what they're doing primarily, well, obviously at Wirral.
Hard to know that, though, really, isn't it? Because hard to know if we can trust anything Serco say. I mean, they had a riot at the prison, which they called something else because they didn't want to be fined.
Yeah, okay, so they're all the sorts of things we actually need to identify. But in 2013 in Spring Hill, there was a riot. Now, the government did the same thing it's actually doing to its own facility.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm certainly not trying to say that these problems only happen at Serco prisons. Well, what I'm saying is I don't believe Serco can be trusted. Here's another interesting thing. One of the things Serco has to do is front. One of the things in the contract says they need to front to the media. Wouldn't front to us, wouldn't front to any media as far as I'm concerned. From my point of view, they're in breach of their contract for that reason alone.
Yeah, I don't know about that clause. I haven't seen that. But where I'd be most concerned probably isn't so much fronting up on a television show, with great respect. I think my major concern would be, are they keeping the Ministry of Corrections informed of the issues that are going on?
Sam Lotto Ienga out to dry. He looked like a minister that was so far out of his depth he was treading water.
Well, I'm not sure that would be my characterisation.
Do you think he did a good job?
I do, but I think you're right in so much that he can only work on the information he's got. And one of the problems you've got, and this is the reality of government, hey, every day in government's better than a day in opposition, but this is the problem you've got. People make an allegation. We then sit there and say, okay, well, you see the guy was thrown over a balcony. Now they might change their story to anything else. But a coronial inquiry, which is completely independent, might take 12 months to get to that. And so
I suppose what I'm talking about, I understand what you're saying, but it seems to me the minister was hung out to dry, not just by Serco, actually, but by the department. And it looked to me like I had no confidence in him at all. At any time, did you think, shit, let's give Judith Collins a call?
No. But what I did think...
Will you give Judith Collins a call in the near future and say,
one day maybe,
it's time to come down the front?
One day maybe. But the point really around Serco and the Ministry of Corrections is, yes, they do have a responsibility to make sure that the minister can answer legitimate questions that are put out there. The one thing I will say, though, he has acted. So the Fight Club information...
He has acted now. Yes, he has.
But also the Fight Club information emerged on the Thursday. by Sunday there was a full inquiry announced.
Okay.
The issues around Nick Evans have been subject to a coronial inquiry. He hasn't sat there and done nothing, but the question is when these things get some momentum of their own, sometimes they just, they're just difficult to hold.
Perception's an important thing. The perception wasn't good. Right, it's 12 minutes away from 7. So what I want to do, as you know, we've been playing 9 and 10. This year we've given away a few Jeep Cherokees with $44,000, and I would love to give one to charity now. Okay. And I thought to myself, how can I do that? Who better? Someone who desperately doesn't need to be given a free car.
I don't actually have a car, but I don't need a new car.
All right, so what we're talking about is a Jeep Cherokee worth $44,000. This would be a brilliant vehicle for a charity. Got lots of room in it, economic to run, but a great, serious four-wheel drive. Very nice vehicle. So what I want to do, are you happy to play for charity?
Yeah, well, let's go.
All right, let's do it. So the way we're going to do this to make it completely fair is I've written 3 charities who I think will benefit hugely from winning this on these 3 cards. I'm going to put these cards in front of Hillary, and if you win this, Hillary will choose one at random.
Okay. So they're upside, I need to point out they're upside down. I can't see what the charities are. You can't see them, and you don't know, and I haven't talked to Hillary about this or anything like that. I've written a different charity on each card.
The one written on the blue card will be a really nice charity. Don't you think?
Well, perhaps the one on the red card is more likely to be worthy. I don't know. Maybe the people on the blue card didn't win. Anyway, don't try and queer the pitch there.
Okay.
Right, we'll see if we can win first. Now, and because I would dearly love you to win this, I have chosen a question that I think, while not desperately easy, is something that you might have a slight
name in 9 seconds or something.
Yeah, numbers. All right, we'll see how you go. John Key, playing 9 and 10 for charity for a Jeep Cherokee worth $44,000. What I would like you to do for me is name world currencies. Go.
New Zealand dollar, Australian dollar, Fijian dollar, Samoan tala, Singaporean dollar, Malaysian ringgit, euro, Russian ruble, Swedish krona, Norwegian krona, euro.
You're just showing off now. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Excellent, John. Congratulations. Right, Hillary, it's now your turn. Do not be swayed by anything John said about colours.
The blue's gone because I won't do what the Prime Minister tells me.
The black magic's coming in later on in the show, apparently.
I pick the red card either. We will not choose down party political lines.
Oh, interesting.
Although orange could arguably be Peter Dunn.
Orange is the new black. I've been watching it on Netflix.
There we go. Orange is the new black. Here we go.
You're going orange?
Ronald McDonald House.
Oh, that's a good charity.
Congratulations, Ronald McDonald House. The Prime Minister has won you a $44,000 Jeep Cherokee. We will be in touch very soon. Brilliant, John. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Take care.